higher education has evolved significantly over the centuries, reflecting broader societal changes, economic demands, and intellectual pursuits. The reality of universities today contrasts sharply with the nature of courses and educational frameworks that existed in the past. While traditional universities have their roots in medieval institutions, the courses they offer have diversified immensely, adapting to the needs of modern students and the workforce. In the early days of higher education, particularly from the 11th to the 16th centuries, universities were primarily established as centers of theology, philosophy, and the liberal arts. Institutions like the University of Bologna, the University of Paris, and Oxford were fundamentally ecclesiastical in nature, focused on producing clerics and educated elites. The curriculum was rigid and centered around a small number of classical texts, primarily from ancient Greece and Rome. Students were taught through a method known as scholasticism, which emphasized dialectical reasoning and the interpretation of established doctrines. This system fostered a deep reverence for tradition, but it also limited the scope of inquiry and intellectual exploration. The Renaissance brought about a significant transformation in educational thought, as humanism emerged and emphasized the study of classical antiquity as a means to understand and improve contemporary society. This shift encouraged a broader curriculum that included literature, history, and languages, albeit still grounded in the classics. The advent of the printing press allowed for greater dissemination of texts, which facilitated a more widespread engagement with these ideas. However, the structure of higher education remained largely elitist, accessible only to a select few who could afford the steep costs associated with studying at prestigious institutions. The reality of contemporary universities reflects a complex interplay of tradition and innovation. Today's universities offer a plethora of courses that span the humanities, social sciences, natural sciences, engineering, and professional studies. This diversification is indicative of a broader understanding of knowledge and its applications. The interdisciplinary approach that characterizes many modern programs allows for a blending of ideas and methodologies, encouraging students to think critically and holistically. One of the most significant changes in the university landscape is the accessibility of higher education. While elite institutions still exist, there is a much wider range of options available to students today, including community colleges, online courses, and global universities. This democratization of education has expanded opportunities for individuals from diverse backgrounds, enabling a broader segment of the population to pursue higher education and contribute to the workforce. However, access is not uniform. Socioeconomic barriers, geographic location, and systemic inequalities continue to impact who can benefit from higher education. The nature of courses has also shifted dramatically. In the past, a student might spend years immersed in a narrow field of study, but today's courses often emphasize skills that are adaptable to multiple career paths. Critical thinking, communication, teamwork, and technological proficiency are now seen as essential competencies. This shift is partly a response to the rapid changes in the job market, where specific knowledge can quickly become outdated. Universities are increasingly focused on preparing students not just for their first job, but for a lifetime of learning and adaptation in a fast-paced world. Moreover, the integration of technology into higher education has revolutionized the way courses are delivered. Online learning platforms and digital resources have made education more flexible and accessible. Students can now engage with materials from anywhere in the world, often at their own pace. This shift has also sparked debates about the effectiveness of traditional versus online education, with advocates for both sides presenting compelling arguments. Proponents of online learning emphasize its accessibility and cost-effectiveness, while critics argue that it lacks the personal engagement and depth of understanding that can come from face-to-face interactions. Another aspect of contemporary university education is the increasing emphasis on experiential learning. Internships, co-op programs, service learning, and study abroad experiences have become integral components of many curricula. These opportunities allow students to apply theoretical knowledge in real-world contexts, enhancing their learning and preparing them for the complexities of modern professional environments. This focus on experiential learning recognizes that education is not solely about acquiring knowledge, but also about developing the skills and perspectives necessary to navigate an interconnected world. Despite these advancements, the reality of universities and the courses they offer is not without its challenges. The rising cost of tuition has become a significant barrier for many students, leading to increased levels of student debt. This financial strain can influence students' choices about majors and careers, often pushing them towards more lucrative fields at the expense of their passions. Additionally, the job market itself has become increasingly competitive, and the value of a degree can vary widely depending on the field of study and the institution attended. The relationship between universities and the workforce is also evolving. In the past, a university degree was often seen as a ticket to job security and upward mobility. However, the rapid pace of technological change has disrupted traditional career pathways, leading to a re-evaluation of what constitutes employability. Many employers now seek candidates with not only academic qualifications but also relevant experience and skills that align with the needs of a rapidly changing economy. This shift has prompted universities to forge closer ties with industries, ensuring that their curricula remain relevant and responsive to the demands of the workforce. In addition to economic considerations, the role of universities in fostering civic engagement and social responsibility is becoming increasingly important. As societal challenges such as climate change, inequality, and political polarization become more pressing, universities are being called upon to produce graduates who are not only knowledgeable in their fields but also committed to contributing positively to society. This requires a rethinking of the educational mission of universities, emphasizing not just professional training, but also ethical reasoning, social justice, and civic engagement. As we reflect on the realities of universities and courses today, it is essential to acknowledge the ongoing debates surrounding the purpose and value of higher education. Some argue that the primary goal of universities should be to prepare students for the job market, while others contend that education should foster critical thinking, creativity, and a lifelong love of learning.